Good morning, y'all, and welcome to the MrMaple Show. I'm Matt. I'm here with Dr. Creech, and we are at the Gayla Mize garden here on SFA's campus. Now, how big is this garden, Dr. Creech?
Well, it's a 68-acre piece of property, but we have 10 acres here at the Gayla Mize garden. It's named after Gayla Mize, which was one of the fine ladies who supported this garden. And when she passed, Ray helped us get this garden off the ground. And so it's as eclectic and diverse as the Ruby Mize. They were related. That was Dottie Wisely's gift. But this one we focus on varieties and mainly deciduous azaleas and Japanese maples that we don't have across University Drive. So we're keeping that one of this and one of that diversity in mind all the time.
It looks amazing. I can't wait to show you guys around. There's a lot of Japanese maples. There's a lot of other cool plants. Coming in, we saw some big Angio weeping, some Cascade Falls. I'm seeing some truncatums in this garden, some rare palmatums. I think you guys are in for a treat. If you're here on SFA's campus, how can they come see this garden? Is it something they can support or get involved with?
Oh, absolutely. We're always looking for help. We're relying on external funds, and basically this garden and Ruby Mize are on University Drive, which is the main thoroughfare, and you can just follow the signs in Nacogdoches to the gardens.
Let's check it out, guys.
Hey y'all, I'm Tim. I'm standing here next to Acer palmatum Ryusen, sometimes known as Ryusei. This selection was brought over from Japan from Kobayashi Momiji-en. This is the same nursery that introduced Tamukiyama over 300 years ago today. This thing has an extremely weeping habit. It's extremely heat tolerant. It's vigorous. I like to stake this up to about the 6 to 8 foot in height and let it have this cascading fountain effect you see right here. This thing has an amazing red fall color. It's easy for people to grow. It's a fun tree that you can train and shape in unique ways because you know what this habit's going to do. It's going to cascade straight downward. So you can grow this as a ground cover, just let it crawl across the ground. You can grow it in a container pot and let it hang down in like a hanging basket. That works as well. Awesome tree with Ryusen. To me, this tree is one of the most amazing and exceptional and easy to grow weeping Japanese maples for the garden. It can handle the heat, it's vigorous, and this tree just gets out there and makes a beautiful statement in the garden.
I walked into this garden and I said, oh baby, what is that? We've got a baby dragon here. It's Acer truncatum baby dragon. You may have seen this one from time to time on MrMaple. It's actually an introduction by our friends at MrMaple down in Fort Worth. Keith Johansson found baby dragon and patented it. It is a very small leaf Acer truncatum, making it a shantung purple blow maple. So shantung is typically one of the preferred common names for this. This is one of the smallest leaf forms of a shantung you'll ever see. I love this tree. It leaves out in the early spring. Sometimes it'll even rival Benny Hime for its bright red coloration with a yellowish eye for us there in western North Carolina. This one's in a good bit of shade here, but man, look at the specimen. This thing's far from anything but a baby. This is a full-grown baby for sure. This thing's massive. Now, this one's been here since around 2010, and everything gets a little bigger here in Texas. As we mentioned in one of our other videos, not a long dormancy period here, so you get an extended growing season. But guys, check out the size of this baby dragon. I had to get it on camera. Absolutely impressive. One of my all-time favorite Acer truncatum cultivars. Thanks to Keith Johansson and Scott Hubble for making this tree possible. Let's check out the rest of this garden.
Y'all, I'm standing with Acer palmatum Pixie. Now I'll tell you what's impressing me about Pixie in the gardens we've been visiting, and this one in particular. It's holding its brighter red color in a deeper shade situation. We've seen many red cultivars around here at SFA Gardens, and this high pine oak canopy forest seems to be greening some of them out with the high heat, some fertilizer they're putting out, good drainage, getting them good growth rates. But Pixie right here, it's really showing off with that cherry red color. It's a small to mid-sized upright Japanese maple. Has a little bit of layering habit to it, but this brighter picked up red, it just grabs your attention out here in the garden. Well, there's a lot of trees out here in the shade, not showing off as well as the Pixie is, and Pixie's doing it in a phenomenal way. I mean, this is a tree that typically reaches 6 to 8 foot in 10 years, gets a little bit of a layering habit to it, and goes to a bright red in the fall. If you've got a more shaded location that you're trying to get a more picked up red, I mean, Pixie's rocking it out.
All right, y'all, check out this Acer pictum Usugumo. This is the batwing maple. A lot of you guys see this one return to Mr. Maple. Love showing some bigger specimens. This is a larger one of the Acer pictum Usugumo here in the landscape. Now, if we caught this one a little earlier in the season, you'd see even more of that striations to it, that variegation to it. This one can get a swirling variegation of that big batwing style leaf. Acer pictums are great plants. They do love the heat. Giving it some shade here in Nacogdoches is probably crucial though for this one. Absolutely outstanding. I love Acer pictums. They're some of the most fun variegated plants from Japan, and you can get some outrageous variegation styles going on in these. I love showing you guys specimens though. This is a huge Acer pictum. I would estimate this one may have came from us around 2013. I know we brought them a few of these back in the day. Absolutely love seeing this here in the garden.
I'm standing here with Acer campbellii subspecies palmatum. This is a rare Chinese maple from Yunnan, China, in section palmata. This tree likely came from us to SFA Gardens. It's grafted on Acer palmatum subspecies palmatum. They're closely related, just like the shirasalmanums, the oliveranums, the japonicums. They're in that section palmata, and it makes a beautiful tree. I mean, it's got a really unique leaf shape to it, and the fall colors can range from yellows to orange. It's incredibly rare to see this tree in a garden, and it's a pure treasure down here at SFA Gardens. I mean, it's just walking from one tree to another, and we keep seeing beautiful specimens of unusual trees. I mean, what's not to love about this place? Y'all, I'm standing next to a tree I know came from Mr. Maple originally in a 1 gallon. This is Acer burgerianum 24 Karat. This is a selection of a trident maple that when it leaves out, In the early spring, it's a bright yellow, and then it goes to a green. Being here in Texas, it's leafed out much earlier. It's already went to that spring color. But seeing the size and stature of Acer Burgerianum 24 karat is just outstanding. 24 karat is a sister seedling to one that became Bling Bling, which many of y'all may have seen. Very uncommon trident maples that have some unique spring interest in the garden. And as you can see, this tree's got a phenomenal form as well. Trident maples, I love them. They're tough, they get some nice bark interest as they age. They have some phenomenal fall colors of yellows, oranges, and reds all at the same time. They're a hardy tree that's easy to use in the landscape, easy to use as a street tree, but with one like 24 karat, you also get that added spring bonus of that spring interest. Y'all, I'm getting excited going around this garden. This is Acer passiflorum. Now, there's some arguments of whether this tree, Acer passiflorum, the name passiflorum, is synonymous with Acer pubipalmatum. And I can tell you that this particular selection of what is labeled as Acer passiflorum clearly is not Acer pubipalmatum. I talked to Douglas Justice about this, and he thinks that this may actually be something completely different. But what we have here labeled as Acer passiflorum has a smaller leaf. The leaf cups a little bit. It's clearly in section palmata. This is a tree that is grafted onto Acer palmatum. I know that because Matt and I grafted this particular tree. The fall color on this, a bright fiery red. I mean, it's a phenomenal tree for the landscape. It's in section palmatum, so it's closely related to the japonicums, the oliveranums, the shirasawanums, but it's unique in its own regard. This is a unique species, and Acer passiflorum, this particular brand, you don't see much in the trade. Again, this is not the same thing as pubipalmatum. That gets pubescent hairs on the leaf, on the stemming, on the leaves, and it is very different from what this is right here. So this is my argument that Acer passiflorum might actually be this tree and not pubipalmatum at all, may not be synonymous, because if you look at this tree, this is very different. This is unusual. And I'm not saying there might be some passiflorum out there that are pubipalmatum, but this, Acer passiflorum, this is a cool tree, and I like it a lot. Y'all, I'm geeking out going around here seeing all these cool maples and cool species. Above me, Acer oliveranum subspecies formosanum, also known as Acer seriolatum. This is a tree in section palmata. It's heat tolerant. It's a tree that grows very fast. It's got bold orange fall color. This is an outstanding tree that I think more people need to be growing. It can be grafted onto Acer palmatum because it's in that section palmata. It can be grown from seed. This is a heat-tolerant guru that just makes a beautiful formed tree. I mean, we fell in love with this tree whenever we went and visited the bamboo garden down in Charleston. They've got a large Acer oliveranum subspecies formosanum that was planted there in full sun in South Carolina, and it thrived and did well. Here in Nacogdoches, Texas, this tree's doing phenomenally. Here in this high shade canopy as well. This is a tree you should definitely go and check out. Acer oliveranum, subspecies formosanum. Guys, we talked acer passiflorum and how I thought it was different than pubipalmatum, at least that specimen we were looking at back there. Here we're standing beside Acer pubipalmatum, another tree from China. It has some nice pubescent hairs. They're growing on the stems of the plant as well. This is a tree that is drought tolerant. It's easy to grow out in the landscape and garden. And the fall color on this, to me, it competes with Osaka Zuki. And I know that sounds like heresy, but this tree can compete with Osaka Zuki, one of the very best Japanese maples at fall color. And this is a Chinese maple. It's a straight species, pubipalmatum. This tree rocks it out in the garden. It's one of my favorite species whenever it comes to a species maple related to a Japanese maple. In section palmata, I'm geeking out, going around checking out all these trees. And y'all, it's even got a little bit of like a coral kind of color to the new growth. There's a lot of amazing ornamental traits to this tree. And like we've done with hot blonde, there's a lot of ornamental traits that can be found in pubipalmatum. You can go check out our cultivar selection we made of flying daggers on MrMaple. We've done some videos at Buckholtz Nursery with one of the oldest flying daggers of a dwarf version of this. There's a lot of these species that can add superpowers to what Japanese maples do. And this is one of those trees I like because it's uniquely different.
Hey guys, check this one out. This is one you don't see a lot around. This tree actually came from MrMaple originally. This is Acer palmatum Hino suasa. Now, you may recognize that name suasa of Suasa Silhouette and Suasa Dwarf. We've offered many of his selections. Yanada Tanaka has some of my favorite plants from Japan. Now, Hino suasa is basically one of the most classic heat-tolerant red uprights in Japan. Think of this as Japan's version of Emperor One. It's an excellent upright red. Now, I do get some really nice picked up pinkish reds in this. I absolutely love this plant. We'll be bringing it back to MrMaple for sure. Check out Hino suasa growing here in the Texas heat. Looks pretty good. Still got a lot of great red color going on. I think you're gonna love this one. And very unique upright red, rarely seen at this size. This is a huge specimen of this, so I had to get it on camera for you guys. Check that out. All right, y'all, there's another Acer truncatum here from our good friend Keith Johansson. Just talked to him the other day via email. He's over in Italy. He moved over there to see his grandchildren more, and he named so many great truncatums. And Scott's still carrying that on some at Metro too. This is one of our all-time favorites. This is the symbol for Metro maples. This is actually Acer truncatum Fire Dragon. That's a patented truncatum. We're actually on the license work for this one, so we do offer it a good bit at MrMaple. Now, Fire Dragon is tough as nails, being a Shantung maple as well. You can grow this one in high heat areas. It does exceptional down here in Texas. This one lights up the show in the fall. Now, typically, for a lot of your Shantung maples, there'll be some oranges and yellows in the fall color. What makes Fire Dragon so special, this one is a cherry picked up red in the fall months, so you get some exceptional fall color. It's also durable as all get out, And so it holds those foliage. So the foliage looks nice and crisp going into the fall months to be a great display for that fall color, even for hot areas like Texas. So it's a great plant that gives some fall color to some areas that might not naturally see a ton of great fall color otherwise. Absolutely love Fire Dragon, and a beautiful specimen here. This one was planted back around 2013, Dr. Creech was saying. Really nice size specimen. Awesome to see here in the landscape.
Yo, this has been a treat walking around these gardens. I didn't realize so much of here at the Gayla Mize Gardens here at SFA Gardens was going to be trees from us from 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, there's some really cool stuff. It was fun to find things in the garden I'd forgot were here. Some amazing plants. If you're in the area, definitely come check out this garden. It's really cool. There's a lot of great Japanese maples, azaleas, and a lot of other just interesting plants around.
And I'll give you a look at what we were producing 10 years ago too. I mean, there's some cool plants out here from Hanezu Hagoromo to rare species maples you may not.
I was really excited to find that Hino suasa, such a big specimen of that. Some great plants out here, guys. Definitely come check it out, support what they're doing here at SFA. It's a great place for horticulture. Come check out the gardens. It's absolutely phenomenal. Grab Dr. Creech, bug him, come see some of the guys out here and walk around these gardens. Maybe we can get back out and do something in the fall. I'd love to see this place in fall. It's absolutely outstanding no matter what season you come in. There's a big high canopy, so you get some good shade. It's a nice, cool place to enjoy the outdoors.
So the cool thing is about this place is we only covered a small number of the Japanese maples here at SFA Gardens. From the Ruby Mize Azalea Garden to the Gayla Mize Gardens were here, to the Masked Arboretum. Here at SFA Gardens, there's over 400 different cultivars or selections of species and Japanese maples in the gardens. Specimens, we're talking large trees to really go out and enjoy, see how things are performing down here in Texas. This is a gold mine for the southern United States.
You got to come see it. It's a great place for maples here in the South. Guys, thanks for watching today. If you haven't already, make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
Take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.